Parshat Bechukotai, which deals with the blessings and the curses, begins in source number 2. Im Bechukotai telechu, if you will follow my decrees and observe my commandments and perform them. And then all these brachas that Hashem will give you, the rain falling in the right time, produce, etc. Then the Parsha continues in source 1, but if you will not listen to me and not perform all these commandments, if you will consider my decrees loathsome, and if your being rejects my ordinances so as not to perform all my commandments, so that you will know my covenant, then I will do the same to you. And we have the list of the curses. What is this idea of following the decrees or not listening? So Rashi tells us a very interesting phrase. Whether you are amelim b'Torah, whether you're working hard, you're toiling in Torah. If you toil in Torah, then these are the blessings. And if you don't, then these are the results. And it's interesting, as the Medrash points out, Rashi points out in source 4, the admonition has begun with a chain reaction of sin, composed of 7 steps, each one leading to the next. You will not dedicate yourselves to Torah study. You will eventually stop performing commandments. You'll be revolted by others who are loyal to Torah. You'll hate the sages who expound the ordinances. You'll prevent others from being observant. You'll deny that God gave the commandments. And ultimately, you'll deny the very existence of God who made the covenant. And the obvious question that we need to ask, the question offered in source number 5, which is, Harei Medubar, we're talking about B'mi Shelomed V'Osek B'Torah, someone who is involved in learning of the Torah. Ela Chaser Lo Raket Yagia V'Amal B'Torah. What is he missing? He's missing that added component of Yagia, of Amel in Torah. V'Alveira Kazu Kotevet HaTorah Shel Basof Yagia Kedei Kfira Be'ikar Noral Mitbonein. How can we say that someone who's observing Torah mitzvos, but is not Amel b'Torah, is not exerting effort in Torah, is going to reach a level of, God forbid, Kofer Be'ikar? How can we explain such a thing? Before we begin our remarks, we need to be able to understand what is Amelus B'Torah. And that's going to be the first part of the Shir Mirz Hashem. And only once we have an understanding of Amelus B'Torah, what it means to toil in Torah, can we then get to the second part of the Shir, the very tail end, to be able to answer our question of how the slippery slope process happens if we're not Amelim B'Torah. Now, I'd like to say at the beginning a caveat. When we're talking about Amelus in Torah, we're talking about a shir primarily directed for women. So women don't have a chiyuv in limud Torah, right? V'akisa b'yomam v'layla, and the Amelus in Torah, when we're talking about black and white, the black learning of Torah, the text is clearly a male thing. So why are we discussing this today? For 2 reasons. One is, a woman's job is to be able to appreciate Amelus B'Torah, to be able to encourage her family, the males, to learn Torah. And the second is, although a woman isn't chayiv in limud Torah per se, she's chayiv in knowing the mitzvos that pertain to her. And as we're going to describe today, Amelus B'Torah is not just the black fire of learning Torah. It's the white fire that we spoke about 2 weeks ago, V'kervanu Ifnei Har Sinai. It's coming close to Kadosh Baruch Hu. It's a whole Weltanstang, a whole gestalt of what Torah is about. That Amelus B'Torah goes far beyond just the technical learning of Torah. And that is crucial for us to understand as Avdei Hashem, as servants of Hashem. So what is this idea of Amelim B'Torah about? That if you're not Amel, if you don't toil in Torah, we have this slippery slope. So perhaps the most simple level is what the Lekach V'Libus speaks about in the second paragraph in 6. Ki Adam she'osek b'Torah rak b'chelik shel hamoach. If a person's involved in learning of Torah only in their intellect, Hainu shelomed ba'ofen shitchi, you learn an external type of way. As ein hamoach kulo asuk b'Torah, then their entire being is not involved in Torah. V'nishar chelik panui sheino mechuseh b'Torah, and then there's a part which is not involved in Torah. Shechas v'shalom yachol liyot asuk b'dvarim acherim, and could, God forbid, be involved in other things. V'nishar patuach l'dvarim acherim, ma she'en ken k'shalomed be'iyun ba'amkos hamoach, But if you involve yourself but totally in Torah, then the moach is mitametz be'esek HaTorah. Your spare time, your energy is involved in trying to understand Torah. And then a person has a shmira, a protection from averos and an avon, from sins, God forbid. Let's try to understand what the Lekach V'Libuv is saying. There's a very fundamental Rashi in Parshat Vayeshev, where the Torah says, by Yosef HaTzadik, when they threw the brothers threw him into the pit, it says, "V'aborek ein bo mayim," the pit was empty, there was no water in it. And Rashi knows, well, if it's empty, obviously there's no water. So Rashi says, "Mayim ein bo, but nechashim v'akrovim yesh bo." Snakes and scorpions were found in it. What Rashi is telling us is the fundamental principle in life. Nothing exists in a vacuum. If water, which represents Kedusha, Torah, is not found in it, so snakes and